Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris. A lot of videos on this platform are dedicated to the first 3 tools that you need to get into woodworking. Typically, it's a random orbit sander, a drill, and a circular saw. But I'm here to tell you that I think the next 3 tools are really the most important. And let me detail that in this video. So let's get right to it. Okay, in no particular order, I'm gonna start out with the brad nailer and the air compressor. Yeah, you might be saying it's 2 tools. Well, essentially it doesn't have to be. You can buy a battery-powered nail gun, a brad nailer, with whatever brand of tools that you have started with, maybe your drill and your impact driver. Again, back to those 3 tools, the drill and impact driver typically come in a set, so I'm gonna include those 2 tools into one as well for the first 3 that you might buy. So a brad nailer is super important, at least it was for me in my upbringing into woodworking. The moment I got one of these, I realized just how efficient I could be, just how fast I could throw projects together. And honestly, I didn't need to fumble around with screws too much because once the wood glue dries in between layers, when using these, well, that's all you really need. So this is definitely something every woodworker should get. And also, even if you're not into woodworking, a side note, owning an air compressor to have at your house, in your garage, or wherever you might be living, this can come in super handy, not only to clean off work surfaces, but also, hey, you got a flat tire? Don't need to stop by the gas station because you've got one of these. Now, I used that cart and had an air hose just directly into the cart, but eventually I did upgrade to something like this. This is basically 50 feet of air hose tied to the wall. I like air compressors having their feed up above my head. I had that in my last shop and let's go there. You wanna see my last shop? Let's see what it's turned into, and let me show you that setup. Let's check it out. Hey guys, welcome back. This is my old shop, and this is kind of a work in progress for my wife. This is gonna be her workspace now, even though she does have her own studio inside. This is gonna be something for her, but that's neither here nor there. I'm here to show you this. This is the first system that I came up with for my air compressor and my air gun to be stored right there. So it was really great. I don't have this in my new shop because the fact is the ceilings are like 16 feet tall. But this was amazing. I could take it down, I could work on things and just boom, put it back in. And it was great. And I really do miss this, honestly. If you're in a garage system, this is something you may want to consider. Let me show you exactly how it's all hooked up. It's pretty easy, pretty green acres, honestly. I use that term a lot in terms of how I do things because sometimes I just want to get things done, but hey, let's check this out. Okay, so there's the old air compressor. I used to have a really large one in there. It did not last very long. Either way, it's basically a hole coming out, goes up to a reel, then the reel goes across through some PVC pipe and into, yep, you guessed it, into this structure here. And then honestly, you can just, there you go. And this was also some above garage plywood storage from way back when. And yeah, can't wait really to get this place back in order, but I did want to show you this. Also, hey, check that out. I remember this cantilevered lamp or shop light that actually the garage door was able to tuck into. Sorry for the cords, but that was a pretty cool project. I never did make a YouTube video on that because why? Well, I made this before the channel. All right, back to my shop. Okay, so that is the air gun right there. Air gun and air compressor. I'm gonna bundle those up into the 4th tool that really every maker should purchase. Now, moving on to the 5th, I gotta say, this is one of the more versatile tools in the wood shop. This is a router. This is my palm router. I've gone through a couple of these. The first one I had was my grandfather's. It was a Craftsman from 1970. It worked really well. Ended up selling that one at a garage sale. I then bought a rigid router that was corded, and that lasted me quite a few years as well. It didn't go bad at all, but I got the Makita upgrade because that's kind of the medium which I'm using with my drills and everything else. So it just works. And honestly, any brand is great. It doesn't matter. I'm not endorsed by Makita. I'm just saying this is one of the more versatile tools in the wood shop. Not only are you have the capacity to flush trim things when you want to make sure the edges of cabinets are just right along the edge of another. If you want to ease the edges of anything, really, you can use a round over or a chamfer bit as well. Round over meaning that you have a round over, and a chamfer puts a 45 pretty much on the edge of any type of material, giving you a nice feel of both. Both have great looks and both have great aesthetics as well. This allows you to finish your work, quite frankly, and finish it easily with a myriad of bits you could choose from. And again, this is one of those things that could be intimidating to some, but once you get used to it and once you learn how this thing works, the sky's the limit with this. So this is my 5th recommendation for sure. And again, all these tools I'm going to put down in the description box below. If you want to check them out for yourself, do that as well. Now, on to the 6th and final topic in this video. And it can be a little bit, not controversial, but is it really an essential tool? And in my mind, it is. And let's get right to what that is. Okay, I know I said to get right to that 6th tool, but I want to make a quick announcement for you guys. I finally have a Teespring account. So I've got a couple t-shirts and hoodies down below in the description. If you want to check them out, you can support the channel that way by buying yourself a t-shirt. And also, I keep this local here. I have new hats this year. This is the A Glimpse Inside YouTube logo, not the mustache man that you might be seeing. I kind of got 2 logos. Why? Because my wife is awesome and she designed these. Okay, yes. All right, now moving on. These are limited edition hats that I put out once a year. They're on my website right now. I'll put a link in the description. If you want to help support the channel, get yourself one of these hats. They're actually really comfortable and they're really nice. And I slate gray with the Glimpse Inside logo, and I really definitely would appreciate the support. Also, if you're a Patreon member of mine, and I always thank my Patreon members down below, at the end of the year, if you've been with me all year, I do a special limited edition hat that I send you guys around November, December. And it's just something I like to do. I get with Josh, my embroidery guy, and we come up with a design that no one else can get. You can't buy it. You can't even, no one has them except for Patreon members. So if you want to support the channel that way, there's a link down below for that as well. And again, you guys are so gracious and so kind, and I appreciate all the support. And even your viewership is enough for me. I just wanted to announce this, and hopefully you guys will check it out. Thanks. Okay, here's the 6th tool. No joke. Not necessarily a saw stop table saw. I did a ton of work with a used granite top rigid for many years. If you've been a fan of the channel, you've seen it. It's in those videos in that small garage in there. But yeah, this is by far the most versatile tool in the woodshop to me, and it's definitely worth the investment. Whether you go on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and find an old cast iron Craftsman from 1970, I bet you money it still works, or you get something new, even a job site saw, DeWalt. I'm not endorsed by any of these brands, but DeWalt and Cobalt and who knows, all these different companies have various entry-level table saws, and they work. They may not be the strongest fence on the planet, but you can make anything work for your situation, especially by building around an outfeed table and maybe a little bit of an infeed table for some of those job site saws. Those things are really good. So I do recommend getting a table saw if you're into woodworking. Now, hold on. Well, you say, I got one of these. And what about a miter saw? Don't I need to make cross cuts? Well, yeah, you do every once in a while. You can do it with this in a speed square. But you can also build projects on the table saw and make yourself one of these called a crosscut sled. And honestly, I used to have a big 15-inch, or 12-inch blade, 15-inch cut chop saw, radial arm. What do you call it? What's it called? Sliding compound miter saw. I got it. Sorry. Anyway, I used to have one of those, and the moment I made this sled, I think I used it maybe once or twice a year. So I gave it to a local business, a guy named Mike. He uses it now in his shop, and he's actually doing pretty well, doing all kinds of good stuff for the community. Anyway, long story short, get one of these, okay? Not necessarily a saw stop. If you can afford it, great. The fact that it won't cut through your fingers or a hot dog is phenomenal. But this, to me, is the most versatile tool in the wood shop. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this perspective, and I hope this has kind of told you your next step. If you're in that early stage of the woodworking game and you've got your drill and your circular saw and your sander, this is something to definitely look forward to, things you could get in the future that'll really help you out. Also, I'm gonna link down below a video I made about my kind of genesis into this space. I titled it, "This Saw Changed My Life." I'll put the thumbnail right there. And that video, I kind of give you an origin story about how I got into this and how I was able to make woodworking profitable almost from the very beginning. Pretty cool story. Go check it out. And again, thank you for your time. My name is Chris. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Again, I got new merch. It's down in the description. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys on that next video. And until then, be safe and get out there and make something, all right? Let's do it. All right, see you guys.